Hi, everyone. I am Anna Livermore from V.Mora. Thank you for joining me. If you're watching on the Instagram Live, I'm pre-recording this for tomorrow. The Instagram Live, unfortunately, you can't pre-record, so it'll be here, but then it'll replay in the grid on both my page and the V.Mora page. So thank you for joining me. If you're able to pop on now, amazing. If not, always, these are recorded. They are posted to the Instagram, the LinkedIn, the YouTube channel, Facebook. I think that's it. Yes. So yeah, thank you for joining me. Like I said, I am Anna Livermore, and I founded V.Mora, which is a company that helps launch fashion designers. We help with everything that's needed from start to finish. I guess there's never really a finish. You continue to do seasons after seasons. And that is where the strategic advising comes in. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. Even if you aren't planning on hiring us to do the strategic advising, I try and keep these really informative so that you still get little nuggets of information that's going to help you launch. So stick around. I will give you the information around how I work with clients so that you'll have an example of, if you're going to go at this by yourself, what kind of strategies and ways you need to go about things so that you can have a successful line. So a little bit about me. I started V.Mora in 2008. Is that 15 years ago? Whatever 2008 is. 15 years ago. It'll be 16 years in 2024. Can't believe it. It's been that long. But in building my company, there are a ton of ups and downs. I always felt like, if I just get this little portion done, if I just get to this stepping stone, if all of these things just lined up, everything would be perfect and I would be good and I could coast forever. And that's not how business works, unfortunately. There is always something new. There's always some, I don't want to say issue, but some other challenge to overcome, no matter where you are in your business. If you're just starting out or if you've been in business 15 years like I have, something always comes up. So I worked with a coach early on that I also worked with. I think it was last year we rejoined again, and having an advisor and somebody there is just so helpful, because as a business owner, I think a lot of you can relate. It's lonely, like I have my staff and they're incredible. If you know any of them, you know how amazing the V.Mora team is. But in the same regard, like, they are employees of the company and they're not an owner of the company. So while I definitely lean on them for a lot, I am their leader. And if there is, an issue, like, it's my job to kind of not scare them so that they feel secure in their position, they feel secure in their job, so that I can figure out whatever the challenge is. I'm specifically thinking of COVID in 2020. That was a new one for everyone, right? So COVID happened and everyone's scared. Am I going to lose my job? What does this mean for the future? All of the clients, all of the employees, everyone was in fear. So it was my job to be their leader, to inspire them, to create plans, to get to the other side of COVID. And how are we going to do that? And just make strategic plans of step by step of, like, what we were going to do with production and what we were going to do with marketing, and pivot and help the clients get through that, as well as help my employees know that, hey, whatever this means, we're going to continue working. We're going to take this day by day, and here is our game plan. But in actuality, I too was afraid. I too was scared of like, what is going to happen in the future, and like, what does this mean for my business? But I can't take that to my employees. I definitely can't take that to my clients. So having an advisor, somebody that I respect, someone that I can run through my thoughts with, someone that I trust for advice, someone that also is a third party. They're not involved in my day-to-day business. They are there to give non-biased advice. It also helps me become a better leader for my team as well as my clients. So this is the strategic advising that I offer clients, that I personally work with clients. So last week I talked about the startup coaching, and the startup coaching is an amazing program. That's not with me personally. That's with one of my team, like somebody on my team that runs you through the startup coaching. The startup coaching is specifically for beginners that are looking for, what is a tech pack? How do I source fabric? How do I work with a factory? What are the steps of production? What are these things? So the startup coaching is for those people that are looking for the answers for those questions, whereas the strategic advising is for a client that has at least one season under their belt. They did a production. Maybe it went amazing and they want to expand their business. Maybe there's things that they want to improve. Maybe everything's great, but they're like, listen, this was really hard and I don't want to do this by myself. I don't want to do this on my own anymore. So those are the clients that I work with personally for the strategic advising. And my philosophy with my clients is, there is going to be things that happen, but being creative and having a plan to pivot when those things happen, or staying in solution to find, okay, this is what happened. How do we fix it? How do we get to where we want to be? Where's the end goal? So it is in the everyday kind of logistics of the business, but then it's also in the pre-planning of the marketing, the sales, what we take a look at, what really has sold, what do we need to double down on, what needs some edits, what we can change. So the strategic advising is a plan for the future, and also, taking a look at what you've created thus far and how we can make it better. With each client, unlike the startup coaching has a specific curriculum that we run you through, because we know as a beginning designer what those things are that you're going to need. When it comes to the strategic advising, it's all across the board. So every client has a different need. Every client is at a different step. Every client has different seasons under their belts. So I really custom that program and those calls every week with my clients based around what they're going through in that moment. And then also I keep an eye on the future to know like how this person works. Maybe they want to do designing every day, but I have to keep in mind, like, we've got to get this current season through production. You design, you stay creative, but also you've got to keep in mind, we have to get all your patterns regraded, or we need to plan fittings for those pieces that the designer is probably already bored with, but keeping them on track and keeping them accountable week after week is what that strategic advising is for. So, I think that explains how it's different from the startup coaching. And as well, we also have the production management. The production management is when we're actually doing the steps, right? We're ordering the fabric for you. We're at the factories for you. We're doing everything we can for you. We're the point person for the vendors and the factories, whereas with either one of the coachings or the advising, you are the point person. So when we're working in the strategic advising, we definitely, like everyone that I've ever talked to that I had a good experience with, that I would recommend to clients, is in my Rolodex, right? So anytime my client needs something that's outside of the realm of what V.Mora offers or does, I have a name, I can make an introduction, I can pull in those vendors for that better fabric that you're looking for. Possibly we want to introduce a second manufacturer, or you're doing all of your development offshore or your production offshore, but you want to do your development domestically. So we start handling that. Whatever it looks like, we're able to help, and we pull in all of the network. That's the biggest thing that I think V.Mora clients really benefit from, is being able to work to find the vendors, first of all, that are selling the fabrics, that are doing the patterns, that are doing the manufacturers. But these vendors are also vetted. They're people that I've worked with for years. I know that they do what they say. Is that right? They do what they say they can do? Yes, because everyone, has a tendency to say they can do all of these things, but in actuality, I know what they're best at. So the advantage of time and money saved and all of these, it's hard to find these connections. It's hard to find the right factories and the right vendors. So being able to be connected with somebody, and, we do have we have an edge with the factories and with the vendors. Just today, one of my the girls on the team went to a factory, and she's newer. She's been with us probably since the summer. I can't remember, but she's newer. So the factory didn't recognize her as a V.Mora employee. But so she quoted out the project, and then once he found out that she was from V.Mora, he lowered the price. So he lowered the price because he enjoys working with V.Mora clients. He enjoys working with knowing that we're helping and educating. That's the thing. Like, we handhold our clients, we educate them so that when they're presented to the factory, they have everything buttoned up. They have their labels, their tech packs, like everything is together. They're prepared. My clients will show me like, hey, this is what I'm going to be presenting for getting this sample made, or for whatever it is. And then I'll go through it with them and say, this looks good, or word this differently, or be sure to note this in this way. Being able to translate the language for the factories or the pattern makers or whoever it is, and then giving that to the factory. That is why they love working with the V.Mora clients, because they know that we're taking care of everything else. So you do have an advantage of being a V.Mora client, because they're happy and excited to work with our clients. So also with the factories, like manufacturers, they want to cut and they want to sew, and that's it. That's it. Like, they're not excited. And now I'm talking domestically. Offshore, it's different. I have a whole video on offshore versus domestic you guys can check out, but I'm talking domestically. They want to cut, they want to sew. That's what they're good at. That's where they make their money. That is what they want to focus on. They don't necessarily want to be educating and hand-holding and kind of going through what you need for them to have a successful production. So that is what we do with the clients, what I do with the clients. One of my clients here, and if you're on the Instagram Live, you won't be able to see my screen share, but on the YouTube and the LinkedIn, you will. But I was going to show my client Katro. So my client Katro and we've been working together. I should have checked, but it's been well over a year at this point. And she is doing high-end pajamas. And this is her website. Again, sorry for you guys on Instagram Live. You're just seeing me stare at a computer. But Katro is Katro, And with her, she's doing her development. Some of her development is done with people that I've brought to the table. Some of her development is done with people she came to the table with that she already knew. And we just kind of fit in. I'm just scrolling through our website so that people can see what she's launched. So yeah, this is Katro. She's amazing. She's based in LA. And like I said, we've been working together for well over a year. And every call that I have with Katro is different. It depends on what we're focusing on. I'll help and give advice on different styles, different colorways, strategy for what pieces to drop when, different launching programs, wording for emails. And then, like I said, we're doing some of the development with vendors that I was able to bring to the table and help with her. And then she does some, she's got her own, that's the other thing too, like whoever you're already working with, amazing, great. If you want to work with everyone that you already have a team, you already have your patterns worked out, your tech packs, your production, like everything is solid, great. I can come in and I can help. I can talk with these people, communicate with these people, or help with if you're having trouble communicating with these people. I can kind of be your advocate for making sure that all runs smoothly. So if you have some people that you have been working with for years, that is completely fine. And then you want me to kind of fill in the pieces, like I could use a pattern maker in New York, or I could use a pattern maker in LA, or I want someone to be able to do a small production because I'm doing large production offshore. Whatever it looks like, we can kind of fit in and find solutions for any I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but any kind of like pieces that aren't working as great as you would like them to, we can come in and provide resources to kind of fit in there and help. I have another client who has not launched yet, but she is doing the strategic advising because she does have a sewing background. She's patterns, she has a sewing school, so she is aware of the industry. She has been in the industry for some time. So we decided that strategic advising would be the right place for her. And it's just really, it's been really great to work with her. Same thing, we just got her her dream factory. It wasn't easy. It's not an easy factory to get into. And I'm going to give a shout out to Ashley. Ashley is the production assistant on the floor in New York. The factory owner actually said, like, Ashley is so sweet. This project was really, really hard. Ashley speaks Korean, and that was really a plus for the factory. So they really, really loved Ashley. They were excited to take on the project. And then we thought that we were good to go. And then right last minute, she was like, Anna, can I have a talk with you? Can I meet you? She just wanted to make sure that everyone's heart's in the right place, that this is going to be an easy project, that not easy, nothing's easy, but that it's going to be well managed, and that the team is going to be, we're all a team. You are a team with your factory. It's not you against the factory. It's not you versus the pattern maker. All of these people, they're your team. You've got to work together. So you've got to make sure that you've got the right fit for everything, because your factory can make or break you. It's the most important relationship that you're going to make as a new designer or an established designer, is that factory, because they're your everything. So you really want to look at your manufacturers as part of your team and not a contractor that works for you, or someone that you have, like, you set the deadlines, or you tell them what to do, or you tell them, like, whatever it is, the price of the production. Like, you've got to be a team player. Like the factories, it's really hard for these manufacturers to make money. And I don't know any factory that's like rolling in the dough, it's a tough industry. They know that they have to keep their prices down so that you're successful, because if they price too high and you're not, and then you have to price your garment too high, they're not going to have continued clients. But at the same time, they have to pay their staff a minimum wage, at least, right? And I don't think people do it on purpose, but when they say, hey, I need this top at $7, or I need this sample done for $100. And what I'll do is kind of break that down. Like, okay, well, if the sample is going to be $100, and I know that the cutting is going to take at least an hour and a half. You have 12 pattern pieces. The fabric is slippery, so that's an hour and a half. And then let's say the sewing from start to finish, I'm going to estimate at 8 hours. And that's for a really, really good sewer, because when you're sample sewing, it's just one sewer. It's not a production line. So that is 9.5 hours, and you want this at $100. That's $10 an hour, which actually in New York is less than minimum wage. So that's not going to work. So what you're asking is actually illegal. So you want to think about it in terms of, we want everyone to be successful. We want your factory to be successful, because if they're not making money, they're not going to be able to stay in business. And then you're not going to have a factory to work with. You have to have a product that's priced at a price point that your customers can, that will be happy to pay. So that has to come back to the fabrics, the quality of the sewing. There's so many things at play, and your factories know that. And your pattern makers know that. And you want to work all together as a team, and finding the right team is really, really important. So that is how I can help you find the right team if you don't already have a perfect team. But if you do, it is amazing. Stick with them, and I can help kind of strategize what pieces you want to do in the future, what pivots in the marketing you want to do, what is the marketing plan, what sales are you going to do, and just an overall keep you accountable. I have notes, so I just want to go through the notes and make sure that I hit on everything. My personal journey. I did more about my personal journey and like who I am and whatever in the startup coaching. So if you're looking for more of that, that was the live that I did last week, always recorded on YouTube. Why strategic advising is different from the startup coaching. So the strategic advising, mainly it's like you have a season under your belt, or you've been in the industry, you're seasoned, you understand the basics. So this is not for the brand new designers and the people just starting. That's where you'll benefit most out of the startup coaching. And so in the strategic advising, there's no long-term commitment. So if you just want to do a month and you want to focus on, you're like, hey, Anna, these are the issues that I'm having. This is what I want to focus on. These are the deliverables I need. I can only afford 1 month. We'll take a look at what your expectations are, and then I can stay really, really pointed in an hour with me, because you do have 4 calls. They're all 1 hour long. Also text messages, phone calls, emails in between. So it's all communication, all of it's included. If you can only do 1 month, totally get it. I just want to know really, really clearly what you expect out of that month and how I can help, because I can then make sure, like, I want this to be the best money. I know you're on a small budget, so I want to make sure that you're investing in me and you're going to walk away and say, like, yes, this was it. Amazing. Best money I ever spent. So there's no long-term commitment. You can do 1 month, or like I said, the clients that I'm working with now have all been with me over a year, at least a year, over a year. So we're constantly communicating about their brand, the next steps, the next seasons. Once we have one season done, we're going to the next one. I help with the costing, the budgeting. I am, because I've had V.Mora for so long, know the ins and outs of QuickBooks. So even helping in that financial aspect of the business, I can jump in and help there. So there is whatever you guys need, I can help with. The program right now is $2,500 a month for the strategic advising. And like I said, I want it to be the best money you've ever spent. I want you to really get a lot out of working with me. I will give you my all, everything that I have, all of my network, my templates, my checklist, my list, whatever that is, it will be included in that strategic advising. And I think that's it. We did some case studies and clients, all the resources that you get. Yeah, so that's pretty much all of it. So that is strategic advising in a nutshell for the clients that are looking to really grow your business. You've got a season under your belt, and it, you know, and you want to take what you learned and blow it up for the next year. That's where I have a lot of fun, and I really love working with those clients in those positions, because it's really great to see the results, to see you grow, to see you hit those goals. And now with 2023 ending, 2024 starting, it's always a really, really exciting time to start with a client, because it's like, all right, 2024, here we go. What are your goals? What are we going to accomplish? What, you know, reach for the stars. And then backwards from there, I can make tangible steps of what that's going to look like and how we're going to get those goals. So yeah, that is strategic advising. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in. Next week, I'm going to go into the details of product development and production management and what that looks like and steps involved. But I think the most important takeaway from today, or my favorite tip that I went through, was treating your factory like your team. Everyone, even though they're contractors or they're people that you're hiring out, like having a strong team is so, so important. Like I know personally, like having a strong team on V.Mora, it is the world of difference for the success of the business. So really knowing like whoever you bring in for your factory, for your advisor, for your pattern making, like you really want to have a great relationship with them. All of my clients I adore, I would be friends with, I am friends with. So we have a really great relationship, and you want to kind of feel that with everyone that you work with, because especially, I mean, there's some vendors that, you know, you're just ordering fabrics and they deliver. While it is great to have an amazing relationship with them as well, if anything goes wrong, fabric's damaged, but most importantly, it's your manufacturer, your pattern maker, your sample maker, your advisor to help. Don't do it alone. It's really, really hard. It takes way, way more time, and it's expensive, and there are a lot of big mistakes that working with somebody that has the experience can help you avoid. So there you have it. Thank you so much. And we will see you next week for the product development and production.